While it's the time of the year when the world of golf turns its attention to Augusta, John Patrick thinks about golf all year long. He's the host of the Augusta Golf Show on WGAC, and he's also our studio guest this morning, one-on-one with Richard Rogers.
John, welcome. Great to have you with us to talk about Masters. Here we are again.
Comes quick every year, Richard.
A little faster every year, I think.
Yes, it does.
Let's talk about last year's champion, Jon Rahm. How's his game so far this season?
Well, nobody really knows that much. He hasn't played that well on LIV in the 2 or 3 events that they've had.
They're invisible to me, honestly, as a golf fan. I just don't see them.
I don't look for them. But I don't really think that's going to matter. I don't think they have to play on the PGA Tour. I think Brooks Koepka can prove that last year. They don't have to play on the PGA Tour to play well. So I don't have any doubts. He'll play well.
He'll be fine-tuned by the time.
He'll be fine.
Okay. Let's talk about another Masters champion. Scotty Scheffler won the Players down in Ponte Vedra. How's he looking to you?
That's great. I mean, I saw the other day, I think odds are there's an 18% chance that he's going to win on his own. And those are Tiger-like numbers. Strikes it well. He's the best ball striker out there on tour. He's got the attitude for it. He's got the mind for it. He's won it once before. He is the kind of favorite we used to have when we had Tiger.
He seems to be a level-headed player. You don't see him.
Well, he's a level-headed guy. I mean, he's very grounded. Mom and Dad raised him well. Got a baby on the way. Good family man.
Life outside of golf, then.
A lot of it, and
good balance.
And that's important to him.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else on your radar heading into the 2024 Masters?
Well, you know, emotionally, you want to see Rory do well. If he wins the Masters, he completes the career Grand Slam. He'll be the 6th person to do that. And you know, Xander Schauffele's playing well. Wyndham Clark, until Monday, when he apparently tweaked his back a little bit. So we don't know what we're in for with Wyndham Clark. But Wyndham and Xander and Scotty are the guys who've been playing very, very well coming into this.
Tiger Woods says he'll be back. What do you expect from Tiger?
Oh, not much. I think, you know, maybe this inspires him and fires him up. I think he's this close to being a ceremonial golfer.
Wow.
Well, he's 48 years old. I don't know how he'll do with the terrain. Obviously,
it's a tough slog for people who don't know the course. It's really a tough walk.
It's a tough walk. And last year we had the weather and the cold, and then that was unusual. You just never know what you're going to get with Tiger. I mean, there he was, you know, playing and then withdrawing in L.A. because he caught a cold.
Not sure he knows what to expect.
I don't think he does. I don't think he has any idea what to expect.
Let's talk about the golf course itself. I haven't heard about any big changes. What have you noticed from last year?
Well, the biggest change, and it's not a big change, is the second tee, which they moved a little to the left and took it back about 10 yards in the hopes that it would make it a bit more difficult for the players to take it around the corner and make that second shot a shorter shot. I don't know if it brings the bunker into play out there on the drive. I think it was done more for it, especially moving it to the left, to get them to force them to move that ball around the corner if they intend to go for it in 2. But that's it.
It seems like every year the Augusta National is competing with the golf ball and with golf technology. Are they winning that battle, do you think?
I think they're keeping up with the battle. They're not winning the battle. They'll never win the battle. They're keeping up with the battle.
Courses are getting longer and longer trying to compete with that, right?
Yes. Some of that has backed off just a bit, and they've begun to realize that if we narrow the fairways and grow the rough and speed up the greens, then that may be what's needed. I mean, they can only get but so much longer because of just space.
Let's talk about the coverage. The voices make it so special, and you know this. This is your livelihood is the voice, and the voice of Vern Lundquist. This is going to be his last Masters, and I'm not okay with that at all.
You're not?
I'm not okay.
Well,
with
let me know. Vern is. Vern is my guest Masters weekend on the golf show for the entire show. We had a wonderful, lengthy conversation. You know, he's fine with it. Be interesting to see who steps in that role.
Yeah, I know his heart is always going to be here, and he may even come back, I don't know, as a spectator or as a special guest. But why is he stepping away? Has he just had enough climbing that tower?
Well, I mean, Vern is 83 years old.
Right. We forget that these are humans
Yeah,
out there.
stepped away from the SEC 8 years ago, enjoying being retired, and I've seen him lately. He needs the use of a cane from time to time. So yeah, I just think he's 83 years old.
And people,
will you be out there at 83?
Probably not. But people don't realize this. They hear his voice over on number 16 and all the iconic calls there. They don't realize he climbs a ladder about that wide up a lot of steps to get to that tower, and there's just no other way around that.
And interestingly, post-COVID, there aren't many towers left on golf courses anymore. Most of them use super towers, where the anchors are sitting there and the people calling the holes are in front of them. They're no longer out on the golf course. They are here, but not in most places.
We'll have to see if that changes. We haven't heard much, and you mentioned this, about the LIV Tour lately. Are they still part of the conversation when it comes to pro golf? What's going on with LIV?
Yeah, I mean, it's the negotiations apparently going hot and heavy. The influx of money from SSG, the $1.5 to $3 billion that they're going to put into the tour, I think allows the tour the opportunity to negotiate a little bit more with LIV. When that word came out on June 6th that they were going to merger, it was going to be the tour and it was going to be LIV. And I think they got very uncomfortable with that. So they went out looking for alternative financing to kind of make sure that LIV didn't have as much control of the tour as those initial thoughts would be. But I think they have to come together. We have to get to the point where John Rahm and DJ and Cam Smith and these people are back playing on the PGA Tour.
We like to see them play each other on a format where you can all watch.
More than 4 times a year.
Exactly. Okay, let's move on to Augusta National and their news. They surprised a lot of the room with a new partnership with the Patch. I thought I would never hear the chairman say the words "the Patch," but it's come to pass. What do you expect from Augusta's municipal golf course?
Well, what I know is they're having a hard time with the city getting agreements. So I don't expect the chairman to have a big announcement this year. I think that's still a ways away. I guess their big announcement will be Map and Flag.
The new hospitality venue. For the first time, they have a venue off course there across Washington Road.
Yes, we have trees growing in a concrete parking lot in National Hills.
I noticed that.
I think we're still a ways away from whatever the Patch is going to be.
Yeah.
But one of the things they do want to constantly keep in the forefront. Do they want to make the Patch better? Yes. Do they want to keep the Patch accessible for the people that play the Patch? Absolutely.
So you want to price it out of...
They want nothing to do with pricing it out of everybody's range.
Right. Okay, well, wait and see what happens there. But, I mean, any city would be crazy not to grab that deal and say, this is something special in Augusta, Georgia, for a municipal golf course?
Sure, absolutely. Even if they do keep it in everybody's range, it'll be a special spot.
It really will be. We'll be watching the Patch to see what happens, but it won't be long now. 90 years ago, they started the Augusta Invitational, or the Invitation.
Were you there?
I was not there. I'm glad I wasn't, to tell you the truth, because it's changed so much over the years. But we'll be watching that date back in 1934.
Yeah, this is the 88th.
Because of the war years, they did not play the Masters.
We'll get to 90. Our friend Jim Nance talks about wanting to do 51 Masters because that will get him to the 100th Masters. And I've wished him all the best. Have a nice time doing that, Jim.
Have a nice time. What a voice. Another, speaking of voices,
Hello,
John
friends.
Patrick, yours as well as part of the conversation. The Augusta Golf Show, it's on just about everywhere our viewers are now. How many markets are you in?
We're in about 10 markets, but the way things are today, you just talk to your streaming device and ask it to play the show, and it'll play the show.
There you go. Everywhere you are, that's where John Patrick is and the Augusta Golf Show. Thanks for dropping by. We always appreciate picking your brain, especially ahead of this Masters.
Thank you, sir.